With billions of dollars, cars, houses, and super yachts in their possession, Russian billionaires have everything going well for them. Except where to keep their yachts. It's shocking, yeah? In today's video, we'll reveal why Maldives has turned out to be a safe haven for their yachts. Let's get into it. Things have changed for Russian billionaires and their super yachts as sanctions are being placed in their country as a result of Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine. In Europe, there have been over £20 billion of Russian assets that have been seized, as the Biden administration has announced the formation of a task force that would target the expensive assets, including yachts and mansions. The property of targeted Russian businessmen is expected to face another hit. France also has compiled a list of Russian oligarchs' assets, including vehicles and yachts, that might be taken as a result of EU penalties. As a result, an increasing number of super yachts owned by Russian businessmen have found their way to the Indian Ocean and are sailing around the Maldives and Seychelles. As it is, Russians currently control the 4 largest luxury boats in the Maldives, according to a Bloomberg News examination of ship data. Also, according to superyachtfan.com, the owner of the largest, the 459-foot Ocean Victory, is steel billionaire Viktor Rashnikov, while the owner of the 238-foot Clio is aluminium tycoon Oleg Depriska. Prior to the decision to move to the Maldives, a luxurious super yacht seized from a Russian tycoon facing sanctions was sold to an unnamed bidder for $37.5 million. And that makes the first such transaction since Russia invaded Ukraine. The 72.5-meter Axioma was confiscated from steel billionaire Dmitry Pumpyansky in March following penalties imposed by the United Kingdom, the European Union, and the United States. The yacht, which has a swimming pool, a 3D movie room, a gym, a jacuzzi, and a fully equipped spa, was sold for the benefit of a US investment firm, JP Morgan, which alleges Pumpyansky owes them €20.5 million. The boat was detained by Gibraltar officials in March after JP Morgan filed a legal claim. Immediately, the motor yacht A ceased broadcasting its location while in the Maldives seas a day after coal and fertilizer millionaire Andrei Milishenko was placed on the European Union's sanctions list on March 9th. 4 days later, officials in Italy confiscated another of Melnishenko's yachts, the world's largest sailing yacht, valued at $578 million by Italian financial police. Although turning off gadgets that allow authorities to track a ship's location can assist in keeping yachts out of their sight. However, in the Maldives, the odds of taking action against the property of a sanctioned oligarch are minimal. Over the years, the island country has been a popular destination for Russian travelers, and according to the Minister of Tourism, the new movement of Russia's invasion would have a significant impact on the Maldives tourism industry. Due to the sanctions from Far West and Europe, the Maldives' cautious attitude to implementing sanctions imposed following Russia's invasion of Ukraine has resulted in the Indian Ocean island country becoming an appealing destination for yacht-owning Russian oligarchs. Melnichenko's boat is one of 6 Russian-linked vessels that have sailed between the Maldives atolls south of India since Western nations imposed sanctions on several billionaires in reaction to the February 24th invasion. Also, following the data provided by Marine Traffic, a maritime analytics service, 3 of the boats concealed their current positions, altered declared destinations, or went into foreign seas. The thought of collecting yachts is far-fetched, since the Maldives' legal system is insufficiently solid, according to the country's chief prosecutor, Hussein Shamim, who added that police could not readily remove visiting vessels unless a crime under local law was committed. Afterwards, the requests for comment on the deactivation of the motor yacht A's positioning devices and current ownership status were submitted to Melnichenko's spokeswoman, as well as his charity foundation, fertilizer firm Eurochem Group, and coal business SUEK, both of which he resigned from in March. The spokeswoman told Reuters that happened to be a major source last month that the billionaire would contest the penalties, and also explained that he had no political links. According to images given by its function object, the 119-meter motor yacht A includes crystal furnishings and 3 swimming pools, and it has been appraised in specialized boating periodicals at $300 million. Melnichenko's wife has stated that she helped with the interior design. Melnichenko's representative confirmed to the BBC in 2017 that the sailing vessel belonged to his employer. Philippe Starck, the renowned French designer, styled both boats. But how will Maldives be a safe place for Russian billionaires and their yachts? Going by many sources consulted in Maldives, the situation in the Maldives highlights the challenge Western countries confront in choking off the income of billionaires targeted by sanctions over Russia's invasion of Ukraine, since other states across the world still provide safe havens. After the invasion, the United States, Britain, and the European Union imposed harsh penalties on Russian President Vladimir Putin, parliamentarians, and businesses, which Moscow describes as a special military operation intended at demilitarizing and denazifying Ukraine. Since then, property in Europe has been taken, including houses and yachts, with police seizing at least 6 vessels they claim belong to some of the dozens of oligarchs sanctioned. Peter Stano, a spokesperson for the European Commission, explained that the penalties are not binding on non-EU members or non-aligned governments such as the Maldives. However, he urged all countries to follow them. Maldives voted at the United Nations to condemn Russia's incursion and has officially said that it will support international actions against sanctioned Russians. In reality, the officials expressed their worries about the economic consequences of discouraging rich Russian tourists. The Maldives is known to be a popular resort for the super rich, thanks to its powder white beaches and about 1,200 deserted islands. And over the last 3 decades, tourism has moved it from a backwater with little natural resources other than tuna and coconuts to a middle-income country. It had the largest GDP per capita in South Asia prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, at more than $10,000. Tourism has been its major source of contribution, resulting in almost 1/3 of the country's $5.6 billion GDP. In the last month before the Ukraine invasion, Russians had spent more than the norm and accounted for the vast majority of visits in January. Going by the reports from the tourism minister Abdullah Massoum, Russian arrivals have dropped by 70% since the incursion, and he promised to change that. He said, "Our admissions policy is quite open. The Maldives is a free nation. As it is, nothing or nobody can disturb the Russians in Maldives." The Seal Superyachts Maldives is operated by Abdul Hanan, who provides fuel and meals to vessel owners, including Russian clientele. Abdul Hanan stated that the boats often cost hundreds of thousands of dollars per week, and that around half of his clients are Russians. Like many other superyacht owners, he spends the winter in the Indian Ocean and the summer in Europe. Since the sanctions were imposed, Hanan has visited some Russian owners on board their superyachts, characterizing them as humble, normal people going through a terrible time. Forcing politically unstable and financially constrained Maldives to make a hard choice over sanctions could drive it closer to China, 2 Western diplomats said. A previous government had strengthened relations with Beijing, though relations with the West and traditional ally India are now improving. "We are cognizant of the economic risks that are entailed for the Maldives if it takes a hard line," one of the diplomats said. Why do you think the Maldives has emerged as a good choice for Russian billionaires to keep their superyachts? Do you think there should be restrictions or regulations? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and do subscribe if you like our content.